I am going to be completely honest with this. I don't like what I saw about this update from the Dragon Quest team video. Particularly, I don't like the character designs. They don't really look like they come from Akira Toriyama. And I am talking about Dragon Quest XII Beyond Dreams. I am very skeptical about this new game. I don't really find the game appealing, or the little that we saw about this game, because we only saw cinematics, we didn't saw any gameplay. So what type of game is this going to be? We don't know. We saw that the character landed and rolled out of that fall. Maybe it's going to be action oriented, who knows. The world doesn't really look bad, it looks decent. It looks more or less in the same way that Dragon Quest XI looked, so I don't have an issue with that, but I do think that we can't judge the gameplay obviously, and what we can judge is the character designs. I think the atmosphere and the world, the scenarios that we were shown are on point and are what we can expect from Dragon Quest. Obviously, like they just said, the tone of the game changed. They switched it back to what people know it's Dragon Quest. They wanted to do a more mature, more dark tone, which would have been interesting to see, to be frank, but I have no problems with them just doing more Dragon Quest, as we all know. But what we see and what we can judge, as I said, is the character designs, and the main character design looks soft. Looks like a Sumer, looks like a Beta, doesn't inspire me any confidence, doesn't have an hero aura to it. He doesn't have an aura, he feels insecure. In fact, he has that forward tilt head, his neck is pushed forward like someone that spends all day playing video games in front of his computer, which doesn't make sense for a character like this because they don't have computers. Obviously, he doesn't play video games, so what the fuck? So who the fuck destroyed this guy's neck, or what the fuck is wrong with him? Because the neck, the forward tilt head, I don't understand why is this a thing. And the reason why I believe they designed the character this way is because they in fact are trying to aim this game towards Zoomers. And this is more or less what you can expect of a Zoomer. A very flaccid, insecure, beta, tired, no hope whatsoever guy. I don't like this design. I have seen plenty of better designs that are already being shown in sites like Reddit, but in Reddit it is forbidden to do it. It's forbidden, dude, because you try to show us a better version of the character in the church of Dragon Quest. Fuck you, this is a cult mod, so you have to submit to the cult. And if you're trying to say that this character sucks and you're trying to make it better, we're going to ban you and we are going to delete your post because we are in the church of the cult of Dragon Quest. That's what you get, you motherfucker, you infidel. You're trying to go against the cult. So of course you cannot find those posts in Reddit because they have been deleted by the fanatics, but you can find them in Google Images, and there are other forums where people are sharing their better versions of this character, and they say that these designs come from Akira Toriyama, and part of me kinda doubts it, but the thing that doubts it is because I am stuck in the past. I am stuck with old and based Akira Toriyama, where the Akira Toriyama that designed Dragon Ball Z, so obviously I am stuck in that. But we have to be honest, Akira Toriyama designs declined in the future. They have been declining, and all you have to do is go look at Dragon Ball Super, that piece of shit insult to Dragon Ball, he was on board with destroying his own franchise. Dragon Ball Super has many character designs like the one that you're seeing right now. This new protagonist of Dragon Quest XII looks in line with what I have seen in those new character designs that he has made for Dragon Ball Super. Now, I am not aware if he is in fact, or if he was in fact, designing the characters of Dragon Ball Super himself, or if he had a team of people doing it for him. I don't know. But let's be real, this could perfectly be one of those new, flaccid, Sumer-like garbage characters that Akira Toriyama made recently, before he passed away. So I don't like the design of this character, and for some reason we are being forced now to play as a furry, and I hate that shit. So not only are we talking about the main character design, but now if you watch this short trailer, you're going to notice that you're probably going to play it that a guy that can transform himself into a furry, and it's not a big dick furry, it's a very gay looking furry. It looks really gay.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
Good morning.
Me. Morning to you.
Why are you gay?
It looks like a character that comes from those degenerate gay furry, you know what, the word that starts with P and ends with on, you know? We cannot have free speech. We are so soft as a society right now that you can even speak as you should be able to. And I will do it, but the fact is that if I go too far, imagine that, my video is not going to be promoted, it's not going to be shown to everybody. So I have to censor myself in one way or the other. At the very least, I have to limit my speech, certain words, and you're probably thinking, what does that have to do with Dragon Quest? Well, it has everything to do with Dragon Quest, because as you are seeing and as we are all seeing, the design of Dragon Quest has become soft, has become effeminate, has become weak, has become flaccid, just like everything else. It's not exclusive of Dragon Quest. Just look at World of Warcraft, what a piece of shit game. So we are forced to play as a furry now, and a very gay looking furry. I don't like that. That's a very bad idea in my opinion. Now, as much as I want to give Yuji Horii a break with this, because I respect the guy, and I do believe that many of these decisions are being forced into them by Square Enix, by those Square guys. They are forcing these decisions upon them, and they are trying their best to rescue or to make this franchise stay afloat. I have a conspiracy theory that I do believe that they planned to have a female protagonist for Dragon Quest XII, and my theory is that it didn't work, and that is why they scrapped the whole thing. And I do believe that there was something going on with Dragon Quest XII. It has been 5 years since they first announced the game, and we have seen nothing. So Dragon Quest XII is in fact in development hell, and I do believe part of that is because of Square Enix. I believe they are trying to force the game into some woke garbage, and they tried to force a female protagonist. I believe it, I fucking believe it, and it didn't work. Probably a lot of people were rejecting the idea and they weren't having it, so they had to switch it. And this time around we are given this soft male, quote-unquote male protagonist that doesn't look manly, doesn't look really masculine, doesn't inspire any confidence. It doesn't look like it has plenty of masculinity in him. And on top of that, if we pay attention to what they are saying when they talk about this new hero, they say it's the story of a young hero who's beset by strange visions in their sleep. Wait a minute. Are we not talking about a single individual, and that individual happens to be a man? Are we not? What the fuck are we talking about here? There? So you're telling me this guy uses their, them pronouns? What is this stupidity? All you need to know is that Square Enix is a shit company. Sadly, plenty of our favorite franchises are trapped inside that cesspool of woke and draconian predatory practices that Square Enix is now. They destroy all their legacy. All you need to do is look at that remake of Final Fantasy VII, those remakes that they are using to milk the fanatics, the low IQ fanatics, the mentally ill fanatics that bought those piece of shit games, those insults to one of the most beloved games in the Final Fantasy franchise. They have no respect anymore for their own franchises. Just look at Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. I made 8 fucking videos, 8 videos exposing how bad they destroyed that game. And it's not only that they downgraded the whole fucking game, gameplay wise, no, they injected tons of feminist agenda into the game. I recommend you to go and watch those series of videos that I made. I have a playlist in my YouTube channel where you can see for yourself. I expose everything that is wrong with Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. So Square Enix is a woke, predatory company. They don't care about you. And sadly, our favorite franchises are trapped inside that piece of shit. So I do believe that Dragon Quest XII was aimed to be a very woke game. It was meant to have a female protagonist. And why I am so confident about it, it's because of the next reveal that they did on this update. They revealed the new Dragon Quest Monsters game. Dragon Quest Monsters, the Withered World. And guess what? 2 female protagonists. No male protagonists whatsoever. And I do believe this was a compromise. They tried to push a female protagonist for the mainline game. It didn't work. People weren't having it. And they said, we have to train our fanatics to accept this shit. So we are going to start with one of those not mainline games. We are going to start with Dragon Quest Monsters, because we all know that only women like to collect creatures in video games. It's very well known, right? That only women enjoy those games, right? Or is that a fucking lie? Because the first Pokemon game released tons of years ago, back when no women were playing video games. In fact, if you were playing video games back then, you were shunned out of communities. You were mocked. You were bullied. Nobody liked you if you played video games. And guess whom was playing Pokemon or Dragon Quest Monsters? It was males. It was men. It wasn't women. Women were abusing players, male players, for playing video games. So get the fuck out with that shit that only women like creature collecting video games. Get the fuck out, right? Pokemon is a fighting fucking game. You fight with your creatures. You command them. You're the commander of your Pokemon. You're the commander of your Digimon. You're the commander of your pal. You command because you're a man, and you train your creatures to fight for you. Creature collecting games are male and they are based. So this fucking gay as fuck, the Withered World with 2 female protagonists, get the fuck out with this shit. Get the fuck out. Gaming is a male space. Period. I don't give a fuck who gets offended because I say that. Gaming is a male space. I am sick and tired of male spaces being invaded and destroyed by women. They are welcome to play video games if they want to. Fuck, they can even design their own games if they want to. But they don't have the right to come to our franchises and change them and destroy them and make them something that they weren't in the first place. And this, what we're seeing here, is Square Enix pushing BlackRock and all of those fucking enterprises agendas. They are pushing the message, the woke message, and they know that a mainline Dragon Quest game with a female protagonist wouldn't have worked. People weren't having it. So they had to destroy everything that they had, and they switch, and they had to trade, they had to negotiate with BlackRock or any of these stupid monsters that keep controlling and influencing media. They have to negotiate and say, look, we are going to change the mainline game because it's not fucking working, and we are going to transfer the female protagonist to one of our not mainline games like Dragon Quest Monsters, and we are going to start there with our female protagonists. But the mainline game, don't worry, we are going to put a very soft guy and we are going to make it brown. And also, we are going to insert a very gay looking furry. Somehow, we are going to do it. So please don't remove the fonts. Please don't remove our fonts. Please, please, BlackRock. Please, please. We are going to do it in the future. We promise. We are going to make Dragon Quest as gay as we can. But we can't do it right now. Please, don't remove the funding. Please. That's what Square Enix is doing with all the fucking franchises. So all in all, I do believe that we are cooked. Dragon Quest is cooked, and it's not the fault of the people like Yuji Horii. It's not their fault, and I am going to put you a segment to see for yourself their real opinions, what they actually believe. They are being forced by Square Enix to do this, to do all of these changes that you're seeing in your favorite franchises.
あとすごい話題になってたそのコスチュームとか当時とそのままなのかどうなのかみたいなのがありましたよね、また。
まあね、いろいろ規制もあってね、露出してきちゃいけないとかね。
そこ、まあ、ちょっとあんまり深掘りする気はないんですけど、いいのにだってフィクションだけどその中に主人公というあなたが入って冒険するっていうことでいいじゃないと思うんですけど、違うんですかね。
なんですかね、よくわかんないですけどね、これについてはね。
ゲームだし、まあ、フィクションという自分の中のこうバーチャル体験でのノンフィクションだから楽しくければいいのにっていうふうに思っちゃいますけどね。
あんまり露出するとね、年齢が上がっちゃうっていうね。全年齢じゃなくなってしまうっていうのがあったりとか、
ルールがやっぱなんか各国違ったりするんでね、広く売ろうと思うと一番厳しいところに合わせざるを得ないとか。
でも
当時そんなこと思わなかったですけどね。
コンプラっていう名のね、やっぱりね、ある種のね、なんだろうな、絶対心というべき、善の名を借りた悪みたいなのがある。絶対心というべき、善の名を借りた悪みたいなのがある。全員が不快感を覚えないなんてことはないわけ。だって不快なことを覚える動向でもいいわけよ。だって綺麗汚いとかさ、善悪って人それぞれに感じ方があるわけじゃん。で物事はやっぱり根っこにあるのはやっぱり絶対やっちゃいけないことだけいくつかあって、それさえやらなきゃあとはいいじゃない、そういうのがないわけ。だからやっぱり欧米の方から来てるその宗教的な概念から来るその正教徒の考え方ってアメリカにあるじゃない。彼らのコンプラの考え方って本当ね狭い。でだから向こうでコミックスだけに全部その年齢で区切ってやらなきゃいけない。少年ジャンプの漫画だったら13アップ13歳以上じゃないと出せない。全部リテイクでなきゃいけない。でそれを訴訟が起きるそのために保険も入らなきゃいけない。もうこんなねバカな国とねやるの本当面倒くさい。でそっから日本も悪影響を受けてやってるから、
主人公もね男女選べるんだけど、男を女選ぶって書いていけないのよ。タイプ1タイプ2なのね。のこれ男女って誰が一体文句言うんだろうと思って。そうね。わからない。
なんか
And I don't have any hope for the new Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest XII. Dragon Quest monsters, the Withered world is a fucking insult. They are insulting, they are laughing in your face. Just look at how many new franchises have been trying to switch for a women protagonist. The Witcher, now the new The Witcher 4. The Witcher 4. Seriously? Ciri is the protagonist? Never mind that Witchers can be women. Never mind that. Never mind that the actual Witcher is Geralt of Rivia. Never mind that Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to have a female protagonist too. It's everywhere, and this is why I get fucking mad with these fucking whips that like JRPGs, and they think, they complain, oh, I don't like this female protagonist here and there, I don't like these black women, empowered women in gaming, but then they simp for shit like this. Like Dragon Quest Monsters The Withered World. They are going to simp for this shit. Just like they simped for Pragmata. Just like they simped for Stellar Blade. For all of those female protagonist games. And bit by bit, they keep winning. They keep winning because they are getting away with it. Every new franchise wants to promote female protagonists. And you're allowing it just because it's fucking anime. Or just because it's a JRPG. And these fucking idiots think that Japan is not infested with woke garbage. Never mind that they in fact are also gone. They are also gone. You cannot trust Japanese companies anymore. You cannot trust Japanese games anymore. You cannot do it. They are infested too. So I need to stay consistent. I don't play female protagonists. And never will. It has to be a very, very rare, very specific case where I bend the knee a little bit. like in Phantom Brave, where you're playing a little girl that summons phantoms. I don't really have a super issue with that because the other main protagonist is Ash. I don't have a real super issue with that. But the problem is that you need to understand they had the option to allow you to play these new Dragon Quest monsters with a female and a male protagonist. They always had this option, but they didn't. They chose to put 2 females. It was a very conscious decision. It wasn't random. It's not that it's just one protagonist. They have 2. So one of those 2 could have been a male, but they chose to not do it. Now imagine if the new Pokemon game came out and only allowed you to play 2 male characters. Imagine the outrage, because this is the problem. The people that defend this fucking garbage, they are pretending that this wouldn't be an issue if it was the other way around. Because men can't have their own spaces anymore. Men can't have fun. Men can't have anything for them. This is how fucking disenfranchised men are these days. This is how. And now let's talk about the fucking game, Dragon Quest XII. Let's say it comes out and it's a decent game. How many remakes are they going to do? How many versions are they going to do? Are they going to downgrade the game again because they want to port it into the Switch like they did to Dragon Quest XI? To this day you cannot buy the original Dragon Quest XI that released on PC. You cannot buy it and you cannot fucking get it anywhere. Fuck, you can't even pirate it. You can't even get it illegally. That's how bad that fucking travesty was. Because genuinely there are people that say, you know what, I don't care about all the quote-unquote features of the Switch version of Dragon Quest XI. I just want the original graphics of the game, but I can't have them anymore. How many fucking downgrades is this game going to suffer in the future? How many versions are they going to release to milk the fanatics? Remember Dragon Quest VIII? They destroyed that fucking game with the 3DS version. It looks like fucking garbage. And to this day, there are fanatics this day that say, the best version of Dragon Quest VIII is the 3DS version. Fuck you. Fuck you, fucking imbecile. That's not fucking true. Oh, the downgrade is minimal. It's not. It's not fucking minimal, you fucking gaslighter. It's not minimal. What are you talking about? This is why I hate fanatics. And the additions to Dragon Quest VIII aren't even that fucking great. Who cares about those forced extra characters? Who the fuck cares? The only thing that it's good is the instant alchemy pot, maybe the blue chests, and maybe the fact that you can marry Jessica at the end. Because at the very least that amplifies player decision. And I am all for player decision in RPGs. But everything else is like meaningless. Or you can see encounters in the game. Who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? Like, if you can't play a proper old school RPG, you're playing the wrong genre, my guy. Stop trying to change everything. If you can't deal with random encounters, don't fucking play random encounter games. Don't do it. At the very least, I don't really care about that feature. But it comes at a cost, and the cost is way too much. It's a travesty. What they did to Dragon Quest VIII, it's a travesty. Just look at any gameplay side by side. Holy shit, it's an insult. What they did to that game is a fucking insult. I hope that at some point in the future we get a decent remake with all the things of the 3DS version and with at the very least the graphics of the PS2 version. So this is why even the Android version of Dragon Quest VIII is very appealing, because it has at the very least some of the additions of the 3DS version, and if you play the remaster mode, it maybe is a little bit better even than the 3DS version. So anyway, how many versions are we looking at with this Dragon Quest XII? How many new versions are they going to release? How many? Who the fuck knows? Remember back then when they announced, for example, let's say they announced Dragon Quest VIII and we all knew it was going to be great? Remember back then when nobody was making videos in doubts or scared that it was going to be a shit show? No, everybody was looking forward to the new launch of these new games. We can't have that shit anymore. We can't. From predatory companies that keep milking their audiences and they only work for the normies to gain massive audiences, never mind if they are gamers or not. They only care about money and making the most money they can. From that to ideology everywhere, leftist ideology, cultural Marxism everywhere, woke if you wish, everywhere, DLCs, all kinds of garbage. Gaming is a complete shadow of what it was like 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And all because of greed, and all because of ideologists, and all because of fanatics like you. Like you. You are the problem. Because these companies, these ideologues, wouldn't get away with anything they do if you weren't buying their shit, if you weren't a fucking fanatic, if you weren't mentally ill, if your whole persona didn't revolve around the franchises that you consume, because you're a consumer, you're a slave, and you're a slave that consumes. You're a slave to your franchises, you're a slave to your work, you're a slave in your mind, you're a fucking slave, and it's your fault that this shit is happening because people like you have no self-restraint.